Duane, there's another question here. There's another concern here. Say, during experiences on the real side, when we have experiences on the real side, how can we actually distinguish the life level on which we are operating? Yeah, because sometimes, as I say, some a new student may want to, be at a certain life level, but may find himself in other circumstances which are not unsavory. So, how do we know the life level on which we are operating? That is something pertinent which they want to know. They are doing.
Okay, so is the basic question here? The question is, when we have an experience, how do we know the life level we're on? Is that it?
That is it.
Okay, and again, what we've come through, it's like going through high school, Charles, and you went through high school, you went through all the supposed 12 grades, right? And you learned all those things. But when you go into the next step, and, college is similar, but really it all equals getting out into your life and what you're doing now. Well, you didn't learn that in school, did you? You didn't learn what you're doing now as a teacher. You got the basic ideas, but it's not the same as when you were in school, is it? Because you got to figure it out all the time. Well, life just got bigger. So we'll just start off with what Paul did. Paul created the God worlds chart, which helped us all. It showed the physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric in creation, because during Paul's time, this is what everything had become. It had all creation for us and what we're experiencing in all these lifetimes. This is what it had become. And so Paul simplified it, which is great. And then he had the levels in what I call the real universes, etc. Well, he did these different levels basically so that our personal mind could understand and relate something. Now, when I shared my experience in Journey to Real Freedom in the real universes, well, I didn't have different levels, you might say, because I could see that it's really not that. Just like where you are in China, Charles, and you're in some city, let's say you're in the city of Hong Kong. Well, as you walk through the city and you so-called walk outside the city limits, is there a difference? Is there a line on the ground or something like that? Well, there's signs there, etc. But when you walk outside the city limits, where you're going, breathing the same air. You're breathing the same air. The only thing that's different is the surroundings, but you're still now, aren't you? So we're in the reality of recognizing the isness, and so to recognize the isness, you cannot use the same literal descriptions as you have before. You cannot do that. Just like in your job, your high school days were maybe fun and interesting, but they're not working on the job anymore. In high school, you hung out with your friends, you played the radio, you danced and whatever. Well, you don't do that now with what you're doing in your job, but it's all here and now. So in other words, yes, we use the idea of these life levels, but realistically, the best part is that it's all an isness. And to recognize how it is an isness, so you don't really go anywhere. And again, Paul created the idea of soul travel, like you're moving. Well, you have the experience that you're going from here to there, but actually you're not. You're simply recognizing, okay, what else there is or what else is possible. That's really truly what you're doing. but you seem to have this motion or experience that you're going somewhere. But you, again, and Paul described this too, it's you're always here and now. And so we're moving along literal, it's a literal journey for a while, but eventually the journey, it comes to where, it's like people that came from the East Coast to the West Coast, and they moved across the land and they saw all this land, and then all of a sudden they come to the Pacific Ocean and they look out and they see this vast, endless ocean. It's like, wow, what is this? Well, this is where we're at. We're at the vast, endless ocean. And are there levels? Are there signposts? Are there trees out there? Is that a forest to the left or a mountain to the right or whatever? No. It's an ocean. It's an endless ocean. And this is what the isness is. So there's a difference between being on the land and being on the ocean. There's a difference between the isness life is and what we have decided in creation. So we use the life level ideas as something to relate to our personal self, so we can provide a reference for ourselves and better understand in relationship to this endless ocean that is this isness. Okay, so there's no perfect way to explain this, but again, this is the best part. But you have to recognize this, how this isness is, and then you, at some point, you realize, wow, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to project anywhere. I don't have to chase thrills, okay? The thrill of leaving my body and going somewhere, well, that's fun. Sure it is. But there's more to life than that. And that is how I see life is that it is survival. The isness that life is, the all is only interest. Its only interest, its only focus is survival. In creation, we don't, for a whole lot, really consider that, especially today. Our interests are personal in nature, especially chasing thrills and comfort and sensations. That's the personal self's idea. And that's not about survival, because we struggle through that. We chase all these things. We have to work hard at a boring job and to get our thrills and our satisfaction and all these things. And we end up growing old and forgetting we're here and struggling and coming back and starting again in a new body, to where, the difference is when you recognize what the is and how it sees life in itself. Well, standing in that real position, you don't need levels. You just, you want the so-called ultimate position that's endless, all right? Well, it's deciding to stand real and recognize how the is sees all life, and that is, it's about survival. And it's a real survival where there is no struggle and you are not unaware, you see. So we each have a decision to make within ourselves. Do we want to keep going with the personal self and what it decides and its desires and its likes and dislikes and its chasing thrills and wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be liked, wanting to love or be loved, and all these things that we go through with the personal self? Or do we want to learn to stand real with the is and be with what it is and do what it is doing, which is just, it already is that, you see. It's not really doing anything. It's like the air we breathe. It's not doing anything. It already is, and we're breathing it. So, see, there becomes that decision too, and this is where your intent comes in, because your intent is really your real awareness. And to recognize that, that's one of the first big steps, is to recognize your real awareness. So this becomes more so than the life levels, but because we have these 5 bodies to relate to, and especially the physical body, okay, we need to create definitions for our personal self and others to understand in some way what we're experiencing. So this really becomes the challenge. In other words, what I'm presenting here, I'll use myself as an example, and that is what I'm presenting. who can figure it out or who will decide to figure it out. It's a whole lot to figure out and to present it and to explain it accordingly, to have this focus, etc., and to refer to this reality that you cannot consider at all. See, it's easy to consider a God because that's an idea. It's like, oh, God will do it, or God loves us, or we'll pray to God. Well, that's easy, isn't it? We just talk to each other. We talk to ourselves about that. Oh, okay, it's all working. Is it? Or is it just ideas that you're playing with in your mind? Is there something else more real than that, equals the reality of your awareness? Or is it just the five bodies and what's taking place with that? So life is big, Charles. It's bigger than any spiritual path or corporation or any of these things or the systems on the earth. But for the most part, we relate to the systems of the earth. Yeah, it's bigger than that. And to take on the challenge to recognize that and to recognize what the is and what it does all the time, this isness. Yeah, that's a whole lot. So life levels, I personally don't see any life levels. I've created some of the courses that refer to these so-called life levels because people need some kind of understanding to begin with. It's a step at a time. But realistically, the best part is when you just simply see what's taking place. And realistically, there are no levels. There's no up or down. Again, we've been taught that. And as we keep going along those same lines and thinking in those same terms, well, we keep limiting ourselves to these same old ideas that no longer work. That's not what I see with the isness. The isness is endless. Like the ocean, coming to the ocean is endless. And you decide, where you're going to go. And when you do go out there on your boat and it's endless, where are you? Where you're going to have to. This is part of the wake up to recognize where you are in accordance with what you've known, which is creation. So, yeah, you're always in the now. So where are the levels? Even in the Tiger's Fang, when Paul described those different levels or areas, he was doing that for the personal self. It's not that it's really so, because there's actually more than what he described, a whole lot more. But again, each person's got to figure that out for themselves. But the bigger picture is survival beyond all of this. Here we struggle. There's no survival here. We can't survive here. It's always struggling until the life is ended. And no matter what we've done, no matter what we've accomplished, it's all struggle. And then we go into the next life and struggle again. Real survival is standing real with the all is. You got to figure that out. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Duane. Oui, les amis.
Oui, on est là.
La réponse est encore fraîche. Oh. Wow. Si je pouvais, s'il y avait moyen de traduire ça rapidement en français, vraiment, c'est formidable. Bon, en bref, Duane dit que bon, il sait que bon, Paul Trichel avait créé les différents niveaux de la vie, les mondes spirituels qu'on a connu en Ekanka et tout ça. Et lui-même, il a fait quelque chose comme ça. Mais c'est juste pour aider les gens à comprendre, pour avoir là où commencer à comprendre quelque chose. Et que réellement, ce qui est dans les livres, on dit que les niveaux de la vie et tout ça, ce qui est réel dépasse ce qu'on a dans le livre, parce que c'est limité. Et que actuellement, il n'y a pas d'en haut ou en bas. Et que la vie, tout est ici maintenant. Et quand on pense qu'on voyage ou on change certain niveau et tout ça, c'est une illusion. C'est une illusion de la réalité. Tout est ici maintenant et on ne voyage même pas. On n'a même pas besoin de changer. On change les vues. Mais actuellement, on est comme la conscience réelle est. Ce qui est permanent. Donc, il n'y a pas question de dire qu'on voyage, on a à quel niveau de la vie. Il dit que bon, même si on a fait, qu'il a fait ça et que Portugal avait aussi fait ça, c'est juste pour aider les gens à comprendre un peu ce qu'ils ne comprenaient pas. C'est pour les aider comment se relater avec le monde invisible. C'est un début, mais c'est pas exhaustif. C'est pas exhaustif et on ne doit pas dépendre sur ça. Quand on pense qu'on voyage, on est dans quel niveau de la à quel niveau de la vie, c'est on utilise le mental. On est très on comprend ça littéralement, qui n'est pas valable. Donc tout ce qui est là, il dit que bon, pour comprendre la vie, c'est vivre dans la conscience réelle. Et dans cette conscience réelle, on ne va nulle part. On est. Et cette notion, cette pensée qu'on voyage, qu'on change de niveau, c'est une illusion. Et qu'on ne va nulle part. On ne va nulle part. Donc, quand on parle on dit que bon, comment comprendre à quel niveau de la vie on opère, c'est vraiment comprendre ça avec la conscience personnelle. C'est pas avec la conscience réelle, parce que la conscience réelle, on ne va nulle part. On est ici et on est dans le isness. Le isness est ce qui est. Et on ne peut pas. Il dit que bon, c'est comme on respire de l'air, mais on ne peut pas vraiment pointer que ça c'est de l'air. Et quand tu es au Congo, vous êtes au Congo là. Bon, tu dis bon, tu vas, tu quittes le Kinshasa, tu vas à Lumumbashi. Tu dis que tu as changé le niveau, tu as changé. C'est toujours c'est toujours au Congo. Et bref, bon, on ne voyage nulle part. C'est une illusion. Donc, je ne sais pas que si ça a comblé quelques trous là. Alors?
Oui, allô.
Est-ce que c'est comme...
Oui,
bon,
tout le monde a compris. Maintenant, vous pouvez enchaîner avec la question que vous n'avez pas encore présentée, c'est laquelle?
Bon, parce que il faut arrondir, parce que bon, le matin à 7h30, je dois me lever pour aller attaquer une petite travail.
Ok. D'ailleurs, même nous, notre parti commence à faire tard. Nous ne posons
Et
pas.
les,
Mais on peut savoir qu'est-ce que Duane peut avoir comme message pour nous, Africains.
ok.
On se sépare sur cette question, cette préoccupation.